Back at it on a Tuesday afternoon. Don't forget Mike Yuva coming up in hour number 2 from GamecockCentral.com. He'll talk with us about everything going on in the transfer portal world for South Carolina. I didn't realize how hard it was to say portal and world back-to-back. Not easy. Not easy. I'll say that. We'll also talk with Mike about his thoughts on the college football playoff. And I opened the show with that today. Again, you can listen to the show, Fox Sports Radio 1400. That's also on the iHeartRadio app. And again, so many wonderful sponsors are a part of this program, like Great Southern Homes. Check them out online, greatsouthernhomes.com. Okay. Big Trev, the Giant Killer. I think I'm the only person that calls him that. Well, my son does. My son, my 14-year-old son has adopted the title. I don't know if anybody else uses it, but I use it. And last night, Monday Night Football, the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you are anything like me, you are locked in when Big Trev is locked on the television set. And last night I tweeted out at some point during the game about just, he had a play where he stretched out over the goal line. And I thought to myself, that just looks different. And so much of what Trevor Lawrence has done in his career just looks different. He doesn't look like the normal football player. He didn't look like the normal freshman. He didn't look like the normal rookie. But then late last night, there was a strange sequence where his offensive lineman, and matter of fact, we've got this up over on the website. If you want to go check it out, you can. ClemsonSportsTalk.com. You can go read all of the article, which you could probably see while we're scrolling it on the screen. But in addition to that, you can watch the full video. And I sliced it up and diced it up last night at, what time was that? 11:04 p.m. Matter of fact, I can probably run the video here. I don't think it's going to play the audio, so I hope you're not hearing that. If you are, I'll mute it. But you can see in the video where Trevor Lawrence gets stepped on by his teammate. I love this. I love what we see from the Cincinnati Bengals player leaning over there and checking in on Trevor. I mean, that was really cool from Trey Hendrickson. Got down, looked like he said a little prayer, hoping Trevor was going to be all right. But you can see the offensive lineman steps on Trevor Lawrence's foot or ankle. He kind of crumples to the ground rather strangely right there. But the news today out of Jacksonville, pretty positive for Trevor. And I thought, a lot of people were like, they can't get this man a golf cart. They're in Florida, for crying out loud. There's golf carts everywhere. As you can see, Trevor Lawrence was walking through the stadium there in Jacksonville. That's where he gets stepped on. But the thing about it, and if you're in the radio, you're like, what do you mean that's where he got stepped on? There's a video playing that people are watching right now on the live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can see Trevor visibly distraught. That moment where he puts his leg on the ground like that, I thought, well, he's putting weight on his ankle a little bit. And even there, walking, I thought, you know what? I don't think this is as bad as everybody would assume it is, because I think Trevor probably said, no, I'm good. I can walk. I'll just walk gingerly. So if you want to go watch that full video, you can head over to our website right now, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. It's also on our Twitter account. But the good news came out today, and again, this is over on the front page as well. Trevor Lawrence has just a high ankle sprain, not ruled out as of yet for this week, which is significant if you are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Obviously, they lost that game in overtime, which is frustrating because there was a big play in overtime and got called back for a hold. I thought it was a questionable hold. But anyway, and I think Jacksonville probably wins that game because I think the catch was made at like the 2-yard line. And with Travis Etienne and a backup quarterback, I don't care who your quarterback is. Your quarterback could be Brock Glenn from Florida State. And I think you're probably going to punch that football in. But anyway, the Jaguars did end up losing, but they didn't lose Trevor Lawrence, which is obviously good news for Tiger fans who have tuned in and watched the Jaguars this year. And that's what Audrey's saying. She's like, he still might play. I know. And Audrey, I'm going to tell you what, I've enjoyed watching Jacksonville Jaguar football. We bought the NFL Sunday ticket on YouTube TV. They didn't pay me to tell you that. I did. Occasionally, I'll tweet out my little account so that you can, save a little money if you're not a subscriber. I'll put that out there sometimes now. To be honest with you, it saves me a little money as well, which is not bad. But Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars have been so amazing to watch this year that I'm so thankful that I spent the money to do it. And I know what you're saying. You're thankful that you spent $249. Well, just go look at a ticket to see Trevor Lawrence play. And I think that's what some of the people who were watching the game last night were thinking. You probably already went out and bought your tickets to see Clemson and Kentucky, and then you're going to hang around a couple of days and watch Trevor and Travis play on Sunday. That Kentucky-Clemson game is a Friday game, so some people are going to make the whole, do the whole shebang, knock it all out. It's a good reason to go watch Trevor play. And then to see him get hurt, I think people are like, no, not Trevor. And that's not just Jacksonville fans that felt that way. But it does sound like, he's going to be okay. I don't know how long he'll be out. They haven't ruled him out yet. Audrey also says Trevor is a beast, and he is. And you could tell, though, that he works on, calisthenics and flexibility and those things. And that's really what's helped him out. Speaking of helping people out, the honey man, Kyle, hanging out with us. Kyle, dude, must be you chatting with me on here that made my TikTok pop up. Some guy trying to get he's taking a beehive out of the side of a barn or something. That was fascinating to watch. But anyway, Trevor Lawrence, injured, but not as bad as it seemed initially. 803-450-0086. I know we got to update you on some of the Tigers in the portal. We haven't done that yet. We will do that here today on the program. But first, I want to stay in the NFL. I want to talk about a former teammate of Trevor Lawrence. It's something he had to say that I think is pretty indicative of the days that we are in. Stay with us. What's up, everybody? All right. So I got a couple of quick things to do. Not much. It's gonna just take me a second, and then we'll get rolling back with the show. Right. I just gotta get this segment in. We're going to do 3 segments here live today. I'm going to run Mike Yuva's segment at the top of the hour, and then the rest will be on iHeart. So a lot of ways to consume the show. By the way, I recorded segment 1 in a new format. It's not here with you today. I'm going to replay it as soon as I can figure out how to do it. And I want to see if the quality, because I'm going to tell you, I'm leaving StreamYard if the quality doesn't get better than this. I don't like this quality. I don't think what you see looks as good as what I see, and I hate that about it. I want to, when I put something out, did you see the Silva Coffee video I did yesterday? If you didn't, go on one of our social media accounts and look at that. That's how I filmed segment 1 today. I used my phone, and it's super nice. Anyway, go check that out. Yeah, I put it on all platforms, so you can find it. All right, here we go. Segment 3, coming back at you. Rolling along on a Tuesday, Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, hanging out with you. Thank you for being a part of the program. If you like this show, please share it, subscribe. If you want to support us directly, you can. Over on our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, $63.17. That's right, Gamecocks, I said it, $63.17.
Pow!
You know how we roll. $63.17. That's basically 17 cents a day to just support what we do. You say, I like your show. I like your radio show. I like your website. Are we as big as some of the others that are out there? No. Is our price as large? No. I think we got you right in a good snuggly range. That 63.17 just rolls off the tongue. So come join us, help us out, and be a part of what we do each and every day on the website and with the radio show and podcast. I can tell you this, it is the most digital content of any Clemson site. Maybe not any site that covers any sport, but nobody offers you a 2-hour daily radio show Monday through Friday to go in conjunction with all of the coverage that we have on the website. So when you buy that subscription, when you lean in, when you come all in with us to help us out, understand that it's not just about the web content. It's also about what we're doing here, because you're standing behind me and saying, Swanee, I'm with you. So I mentioned Trevor Lawrence before the break, but his former teammate, Amari Rodgers, had an interesting tweet today. He tweeted out, and I put it in a story over on the website a little bit ago. He said, I'm so glad I got out of college before this transfer for NIL money stuff took off. And it's really an ugly part of a sport that we have all loved for so long. Loyalty. And what that means has rarely been something that's questioned from coast to coast, from conference to conference. Loyalty. I don't know that we know what loyalty is for a large number of players at this point. And I think the other thing that we have really started to lose sight of, and this has been the case for as long as I've been doing sports talk radio. I've been doing radio for a decade. I've been talking sports for nearly 20 years, which doesn't seem possible. It really doesn't. But when you finish your career somewhere, like Amari Rodgers, like Trevor Lawrence, even if you left early, even if you didn't stay all 4 years, you were loyal to that school, to that fan base. You were a part of the student body, and you felt that in your core. Now, what NIL and the transfer portal have done is created a system where the player's loyalty is not to the school, it's to the money. And that's unfortunate. And it's not every player. Okay, and I know I'm painting with a very big brush here. But what Amari Rodgers said really spoke to me, because this is the crux of the issue that I think so many fans have with what's going on right in front of your face. And we haven't even talked about Clemson players getting into the portal. And there's certainly a negative side of it too that we can get into from the player standpoint that I don't even think they anticipated when the arguments were, we've got to get hours, we've got to get paid, we need money. But the way it is set up without a contract, without anything that stipulates what you have to do or what you need to do to get your money other than just, hey, look, this collective's going to pay you. We're setting ourselves up for a lack of loyalty. When you don't have a situation where when you sign to go to a school, you have to stay for 3 years, we're setting up a lack of loyalty. And you might say, but Swanee, the players needed to get paid. They needed something. I do not deny that. And today, the NCAA's president brought up a new plan that I have no idea where this thing is going to go, where there would be another tier potentially for schools to pay players and all of that. That's something we're going to talk about for sure over the coming days. I'm not jumping into that just yet. But what you had with loyalty was taking Artavis Scott. You go off, you play in the NFL. Take a James Davis. You go off, you play in the NFL. Maybe you go out, you try to do a couple of jobs. Maybe you work. Maybe you're a car dealer. Somebody, who's a Clemson person gives you an opportunity, teaches you the ways of real estate or economics or whatever you want to learn after college, because there's loyalty. There's value in that. But let me ask you something. For the players who are portaling not once like DJ Uiagalelei, but now twice, or DJ, I saw today, he might go to Florida State. He might go to Louisville. Look, you can tweet when you leave, always a Tiger, always a Beaver, whatever it is that you think you are, and you're welcomed to tweet those things. But when push comes to shove, when you need somewhere to go home, when you need a group of people to stand behind you and support you, where do you look? Who's going to be loyal to the unloyal? And I think that's a part of this that the players don't understand. That even if you feel like you can make $25,000, $50,000 more dollars somewhere else, loyalties, the value of loyalty and what that can bring you over the long haul is significantly greater. Everybody thinks they're going to go pro and they're going to make millions of dollars, and some people will, but most of you won't. And when you want somewhere to be enshrined or recognized when you're older, where are you going? Because I think the more that players do what they've been doing, the less universities are going to want to recognize those guys that aren't loyal. And so then the question becomes, where's home? Where's home for you as a player? Quick break. We'll put a bow on hour number 1 next. Yeah, what Amari said, man, honestly, that's the thing, right? Like I have an allegiance to Clemson. Orange shows Wadi. I knew it. I've never said I wasn't a Clemson graduate. And I want Clemson to win. I'd love for Clemson to be undefeated, 10-time national champion. That'd be great. Show would be boring. But hey, hoist the trophies, more footballs behind me. I mean, it'd be awesome. But what I value about guys, that stick around is that you are putting, the program in the same regard that I put the program. And when you jump from X to Y to Z, we got 3 schools in a 4 or 5 year career. I mean, like if you do that at a job, you're like a job hopper. You're not loyal to anybody. You're not loyal to anybody. Now there is a negative side. I'll get into that here, and then we'll talk with Mike Uva. But let me get this segment uploaded. Actually, I think it's already uploaded. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the segment. All right. Clemson Sports Talk on Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands, around the world on the iHeartRadio app. So we've been talking about the portal, loyalty, NIL, all that. I hope it changes. Maybe this new idea that's been presented today will, make it better. But, I think that the other aspect of this that players didn't see is what's been speculated has happened to Kyle McCord. Now, if you don't know Kyle McCord, he was the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He was never Never great this year. He was never terrible. I'm pretty sure that if Florida State had Kyle McCord playing in the ACC championship game, they would have been in the college football playoff, right? The problem is there are conversations out there that what happened to Kyle McCord is that Ohio State cut off the faucet. What do you mean the faucet, Swanee? The NIL faucet. That's what people are saying has happened, and that is the reason that at 6:40 in the morning on Monday, you got the shocking revelation that Kyle McCord, starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, was going into the portal. Kyle McCord, from what some people are speculating, found out that NIL money, whatever that amount is, I don't know if Kyle McCord made 250. I don't know if he made 550, 750, $1,050,000. I have no idea what he made. But whatever it was, people speculate that he got told, that's not happening this year, buddy. And he decided to go into the portal. They say, well, that's not right, Swanee. That's not loyalty either. I'm with you. I'm with you. But as players, when this became the thing that you're okay with, and maybe that's the way it has to be, maybe it has to be so screwed up that players start going, we need some guidelines here. We need some protection. We need contracts. Because right now it is the Wild West. And quite frankly, I don't blame universities or collectives or whatever if they decide that a player's not performing. Why would you continue to pay a guy that's not getting the JOBDONE, the job done? Well, because you want to be nice to him. Nice? When thousands of kids are hopping in the portal? When you've given a guy money and he's injured and he's still getting money and he's not playing and he's still getting money and then he ups and leaves? This is a two-way street, and I think players thought it would just be money in their pocket and all would be good. That's clearly not how this has worked. And there are a lot of names that jumped in that portal. This is the other part of it that man, I think the baseball model is the way to go. I think the old baseball model, you sign your 3 years of the school. I think that's the way we need to do it. It needs to be done. Congress, somebody, the Pope, I don't care who, please, somebody come up with a system where when you go to a school, you're locked in. And maybe this is what the NCAA is going to do with this new deal where players are going to be paid and it's not going to come from collectives. And this is something that's going to be voted on, I think, in December. No, January? Anyway, I think January. But make it so that there is some forced loyalty between both groups and move on from there. Because what we have now is doing a disservice to the student athletes. It's no longer. I mean, some people would have said it was a bit of a mockery to call athletes students in the 90s. And that's a sad part of the way the system worked. Everybody didn't get a quality education. But that should be the emphasis of it. And if the emphasis has to be the money, I've always said, you know what? Then we can just cut out the athletic side of it. Because I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. If it just had to be people that could get into school to play, I think we'd all still root for the teams. I pull for anybody in that Clemson helmet. I don't really care. My thing has always been, when the players started to act like they were bigger than the game, I started thinking, well, just put any other players in there. I mean, quite frankly. But I hope things do get better for us all as fans. I hope they do. But the bad side of it right now is players are, in some cases, being cut. And I don't think they had the forethought. I don't think they had any idea that that would be part of what would come from this. Cam chimes in. He says, Swanee just got on here. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but I'm blown away by the Makuba transfer. Someone's collective is paying him a big chunk of change. Yeah, Andrew Makuba jumping into the transfer portal. The ironic thing about that, I actually saw Makuba projected as like a third-round NFL pick the other day. I was looking at some NFL lists. I saw Makuba's name on there. And that may very well be the case, but I think the thing that Makuba sees is what you saw, is Khalil Barnes. If I'm just being honest. Also, that's the same thing that R.J. Mickens sees. Makuba and Mickens are really good, but Khalil Barnes looks like a difference maker every play. And yeah, I mean, I think I see Cam says, no shade. I hate it for him. Right? No shade at the young man, but I hate the move. I'm with you. You get it. You start to go, it's a financial decision potentially. We'll see how it we'll see how it works out for him. But, Makuba, to me, if you've been in this school for 3 years like Makuba has, you know what? Hey, if that's what you want to do, you graduated, go for it. I feel the same way about Bo Collins. All right, quick break. Hour 2, we're right around the bend. Mike Yuva joins us. Stay with us. All right. I'm going to let me hit the quick stamp. I'm going to jump off. We'll reset Mike Yuva's segment here at 5 o'clock, and I'll wrap up the rest of the show off air, and then I'm going to figure out how to get that first segment on, and I want you to give me some feedback on it, okay? Appreciate you guys. Check out the website. Again, ClemsonSportsStyle.com. Please come subscribe to us on TikTok. I got to get to 1,000 followers so I can go live on TikTok. I think that's where we're going to push it forward. Appreciate you.